Hi guys, it's Professor Barker. I am thrilled to be here with you today to work on web design for the first time in our class. Yay! This is such an amazing field. There are an infinite variety of things you can do. What I thought we would do for our class is we're going to take a look at two major things that are big in our industry today, and that is stuff for Bootstrap and stuff for WordPress. Bootstrap is something you're going to be experiencing pretty much from the get-go around here. You're going to be introduced to it in Web 125. I also know that Web 110 has a section of it, and you'll also be working on it in my class, which is Web 225, which is responsive design and typography. So I want to make sure that you guys feel good about designing, and we're going to take a look at some things for WordPress as well. WordPress is a content management system where you can turn over control of who puts in text or images to a member of your team, or actually to a client if you wish. It makes updating the websites much easier. So you've got Bootstrap, the collection of CSS code, and you've got WordPress, which is the content management system. And making a design around those two ideas can be really great for your clients. So let's take a look at a few things here. As you can see, I have got one of the best articles I've found out there about WordPress website examples. And what I liked about this is I thought it was very accessible. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to put this particular link inside the content module for this week. So make sure you take a look at it, okay? Let's go take a look at a few of the examples that are on there. The first one that I really loved was the Houston Zoo. The first thing that hits you is this big video. This, my friends, is what we call, like, it's in the style of a jumbotron. A jumbotron is a big splashy something at the very top of the web page, and it really catches your attention. And like I said, this video really captures my attention. You have a very traditional navigation bar up here at the very top with a logo that has a little bit of an animation of color on it, which is very nice. It's a hover effect. Let's scroll down a little bit and see what else this puppy can do. When I hover over these things, I'm seeing a little change, an animated change in color. I'm going to hover over these. Oh, there's another little tiny animation. I'm seeing a drop shadow applied, and I'm also seeing a border applied around the outside with the image shrinking just a little bit. That's very nice. Here, this changes as well. A border is added all the way around. Same thing there. Border and a hover, border. Okay. I like seeing what is on a site and how they animate it. Animations are huge right now on websites. Just huge. So not only do we have to design a traditional flat layout, you also have to keep in mind flying things in on a page, or having some kind of effect added to it. So I think that most of the rest of this is pretty normal. This button has a little animation on it. There's a transition from the dark green to the light green. This is another hover effect. A little, probably some kind of semi-transparent layer on top of this. Here's a little, oh, see this down here? This is what we call parallax. The background stays in place as I scroll the page. Parallax. Oh, very nice. Beautiful site. It's simple, it's clean, it's big and bold. This is a great way to go. All right, so let's go to the next one. This is the Obama Foundation. And one of the things I liked about this is, again, you've got that big, bold header at the very top. There's no movie, but the image is just as effective. And as I as I hover over things, hey, look at that transition. That was fun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. And as I mouse out, goes back to normal. That's a pretty intense little mouse over. Okay. That does it as well. Well, that's kind of fun. So let's see. Oop, I clicked. Sorry. Hey, where did it go? Oh, shoot. Let me go back. Sorry, guys. Back to the Obama Foundation. That's what I get for clicking. Okay, now as I scroll down this screen, let's watch what happens. This is what we call progressive load. You see how these are appearing as I start moving on the screen? Progressive loads save server space and server function data. So if you can have something that isn't 100% loaded, your page isn't 100% loaded, and just load it as the viewer needs it, you don't have to request so much information from your server, which saves on data load. See that? Plus, it's a beautiful effect. So once again, this is progressive loading. Very nice. Very, very nice. What happens when I go over here? This is a flyout menu with some very simple animations. Okay. Again, a big bold header, a very simple layout in here that is animated with a progressive loading feature. It is really beautiful. Okay, let's go take a look at the next one. I'm going to close this guy. The next one will be animal logic. Okay, now this one I have to reload. Let's do this from the beginning. Another big, bold video with a very clear direction to the viewers that you should do something down below. And I see really great opportunities on both the left and the right that show me that I have the opportunity to make this a slideshow of some kind. Yeah, I can go to the next one. Go to the next one. So there's some still images mixed along with videos. This is pretty cool. Ooh, look at these animations. Okay, watch these bars as we fly in. Another progressive load with some beautiful animations on these buttons. Very nice. Wow, that's amazing. Look at this text here in the background. It doesn't compete too much with the text on top of it because it is so softly colored. It's really nice. Another transition on this button here. You see that fly in and that come up? As I hover over each of these, they get slightly larger. Ooh, another animation in. Okay, wow. Boy, I hope you guys go back through this and really just look. These are beautiful. Watch the way these titles come in. Very nice. So you see what I'm talking about? There's so much animation out there today. And if you can plan your designs so that your developers have an opportunity to put that animation in there, it will help out a whole lot. So viewing these websites is a great way to get to know what animations are possible and just help you down the road. I'm going to the next website. Again, I'm going to refresh because many of these guys do have animations. And we want them to load for you. These bars underneath here are very nice. I love the way that they turn color with the transition. They slowly change to a different color. That flyout's pretty nice too. All right. Well, that's interesting. That's a new one. I haven't seen something go so transparent on Hover before. It's kind of cool. So it's probably just some kind of div that becomes available that makes it semi-transparent. You see that button? That play button change like that? Boy, it's fun to see this. Oh, look at this. That's nice. So whenever you design icons, and I know that you guys are going to be doing that in Web 138, which is Illustrator, make sure that you have a couple of different ideas of it. You have a regular state and you have a hover state. Now that's an interesting hover style. Look at what happens here on this button. So off is a very traditional button. When you hover, it becomes like a little bullet point. That's pretty neat. Do these change? They do. Do you remember when we talked earlier in the semester about the different compositional techniques of repetition and rule of thirds and all those guys? This is an example of using an idea twice. Those icons that we saw up higher on our page are replicated down here in a larger scale form, but it's still recognizable. So that helps provide a little bit of repetition of an idea on your web page. Another repetitious idea is this background grid. I know that we saw that at the very top, and we also see it in this little logo down here at the very bottom. This is a repetition of the idea of the underline underneath that navigation system. But down here at the bottom, it's slightly changed, isn't it? The line isn't quite so thick as what we saw up top, and I think it's more appropriate. It's very nice. Okay, let's go to the next page. One of my favorite all-time things, Angry Birds. Okay, for those of you guys that don't know, I am a gamer. I do love these kinds of things, and I couldn't resist taking a look at it. Don't tell the other professors that there is a gamer among them, okay? Okay. All right, so Angry Birds. Now, when I look at this, my first thought is Jumbotron. Even though I know that this is WordPress site, you can use Bootstrap on WordPress. Okay, but it's tricky. With this, what is the Jumbotron is actually this area, okay? Right here. That's what screams Jumbotron to me. When you first work on that, you'll see some kind of large image here. You'll see some text underneath it and a call to action button. We call these CTAs. So, oh, and look at that animation. Wow. Oh, that's fun. That is just cool. Okay. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. One of the things that I loved about this site after I first looked at it is when we're designing with Bootstrap and we put in our very first Jumbotron and we go down to the next section and we go down to the next section, it can look kind of blocky. Here, instead of having a very clearly defined block with an image at the top or a block with a video at the top, look what they did with the background. You see this beautiful artwork back here that continues down below? I think that that is pivotal. So when you design your works, you don't have to stop right here where the edge of the Jumbotron container stops and the next section of the content begins. You can provide continuity behind that and give it a whole different look. Now, they do provide a little bit of separation between the top idea and the next idea by these little pig locks. I don't know what these are down here, but that's how they do that. They say that, hey, this is new material and this is how I'm going to divide it, but I'm still going to have continuity between the top idea and the bottom idea. What do these do? Okay, this is a pretty simple hover idea. Yeah, pretty simple hover ideas, but it's just fun. Oh, that's pretty common too. To have something grow just a little bit as you hover over the top of it. Okay, let's see what else they do. Angry Birds 2, yeah, another favorite of mine. Angry Birds Evolution. That's a fun graphic. Is that? Okay, I was checking to see if that was the parallax technique again, but it is not. Okay. There's a repetition of this idea down here. So again, providing more continuity through compositional techniques. Whoa, oh, I saw it. Did you see it? Look down at the bottom. There's a little parallax going on there. Gives a little bit of motion, but it's not too huge. Okay. There's another animation. The arrow flies in from the right. Just checking. This is another repetition of what happened on the logo up in the upper left-hand corner. That was pretty fun. Okay, there's Angry Birds. Let's take a look at the next page. Let me refresh this just in case. I can't remember if there's an animation here, and there is. Let's look at that one more time. Man, it was magical. So each one of these flew in individually and kind of appeared in, but when this came in, the colors were on top of each other, and then they moved them and offset them slightly so that you could see the two individual colors. So what it looks like to me, without going into the code, is that you've got one 2017 that is one particular color and this other 2017, which is a kind of a blue-purple color. They were layered on top of each other so the color was black to start with. When you moved them apart, that's when you see the two different colors. That was pretty cool. I want to see it one more time. Look at that. That is slick. Okay. I'm checking out these guys to see what they do. Oh, look at that nice little animation on the hamburger menu. That is really fun. Notice how the hamburger menu turned into an X. It animated into that X. That's kind of common too. Okay, I'm going to close this because I want to see what's on the rest of the first page. Notice how it transitions from the main page to that navigation bar. That was fun. We see a repetition of those two colors again, don't we? We saw the blue and blue-purple, and we saw the yellow. Okay, so repeating colors, repeating different ideas. Okay, scrolling up. Ooh, that's fun. Look at how those elements fly into place. Wow, fun. Big, bold, vibrant colors. I keep seeing a lot of buzz that bold, vibrant, flat colors are the way to go this year, compared to more muted, flat colors from years past. Now that is just fun. You know, the layout of these items is pretty simple, isn't it? There's a block here that's one size, another block, a block, block, block. But when you put that animation on there, it provides a lot of wow. Okay, lots of things in there to love. Let's look at American Scraps. Let me refresh the page to make sure that all the animations are new for you. Let's hover. Ooh. Oh, wait. Look at that. Okay, so it got bigger, and I'm seeing a little bit of drop shadow underneath the eagle's wings. That's nice. So when I hover over one of these social media icons, it gets bigger, and the other ones also fade out. That helps draw the user's attention to one specific thing. Isn't that beautiful? These also grow larger and have that button around them. Really nice. Look at that. Boy, you want to talk about hover styles. Boy, they are out here on this, aren't they? What's on this? Makes me want to hover over everything. Look at that transition. So you've got a small, semi-curved date down here, and when I hover, it becomes larger and more pronounced with the font size for the date, for the year. Plus there's also that border that comes in. That's really nice. Plus the lines. Look at the width on the lines. Oh, there's also that drop shadow on there. I forgot that. Really pretty. Did you see that little? Okay, look at this. When I hover, the blue it changes from a clear background with blue text to a blue background with white text, but it animates in. See that? Very nice. Wow, that's fun. So you see how the details can be just amazing? Look at that. So we are definitely going to be working on hover styles. And I think that this is amazing inspiration for it. Beautiful. Wow. You see how that dotted line drops in? That's really nice. I hope you guys are enjoying this, because this just makes a real difference. There's even a hover style when I put focus in this input. Putting focus means putting your cursor in it. Very nice. Let's go to the next one. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Okay. So talk about animations. You see that huge Jumbotron again. Very, very impressive. It dropped in with an animation. When I start moving my cursor around, watch what happens. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's crazy. That's fun. I'm moving my cursor from left to right, and the text is moving with it. Look at that. So these are all hover styles, all animation techniques. Oh, another one up there in the upper left-hand corner. That's kind of fun. Okay, wow, everything does it. So I'm going to scroll down. That was pretty. My elements on my page are flying in from the left and from the right to meet at the borders. Again, another example of progressive loading. That's a lot of animation. Beautiful animation, actually. Beautiful. I want you to notice how simple the design of this page is. This is just a big black background with white text on it that they used animation on. When I go to the next section, there's a graphic here, a section for text, a graphic here, a graphic. But you know, it's not terribly complicated, is it? So I see a lot of different clean elements, that's what we would call these, with some really fun animation techniques. Really fun animation techniques. Okay, we've got 2 more to go. Let's go to this next page, and I'm going to refresh it again. Okay, so again, we have things flying on my page. When I do my mouse over the menu, it changes colors, and the lengths of these lines change as well. Look at that. That's kind of fun. Very simple, but kind of fun. What happens if I hover over this? Nothing. Okay, but when I start coming over this, the airplane moved a little bit. And talking about services, which is on the left-hand side. I go up here. I have an opportunity to see the agency and careers, connect, and work. So this large area would be called a Jumbotron in Bootstrap terminology. Okay. I just scrolled down and things were flying in my page. Another example of progressive loading with a very simple block layout idea, but gorgeous photos and text. The thing that really sets this off is this beautiful text. I've done a great job choosing it. That text is very distinctive. So they're animating in and flying in. Whenever you need to do a block of certain ideas, having them fly in that way is pretty common, but it's beautiful. Now over here on the right hand side, let's see what they've got. Okay. That was really nice too. And this up arrow probably takes me to the top of the page, and it does. Beautiful. Let's go take a look at our final page. I'm going to refresh this one. That was kind of interesting. Seeing Unconquered fly across the stage there. Again, big, huge opening graphic. That seems to be a theme. Now what happens when I... Hey! Did you see it run away from my cursor? It's running away from my cursor. Okay, I can't catch it. Okay. Oh, all right, that's fun. Whew, I probably wouldn't do it, mess with that. Okay, I'm going to scroll down and see what we've got going on here. So this looks like a continuous page that can be accessed. Each section can be accessed by scrolling. And look what they did with those. With these guys, they're rotating. That's interesting. So not a lot of individual animations on these things, which is just fine, but I think this is beautiful. It's simple, it's bold, it's big. Okay. Simple, bold, big. Lots of animation in different ways. That's nice. They applied a bit more kerning on this text as you hover over each one. And you see how this is crossed off? So this must be the manifesto section. What happens when I click here? That becomes the about section. And you notice that line animating in? That was kind of fun. Okay. So what are the takeaways from doing all of this today? The takeaways are, we are seeing lots of big, bold Jumbotron type headers. Jumbotron is an element of Bootstrap, but it applies to pretty much any site that has that kind of thing. We saw a lot of individual blocks, which can be called cards or callouts, whatever you want. And those were arranged on the page in such a way that animating them in would work well. And speaking of animations, there were lots and lots of animations on the page. The animations happened on navigation systems. They happened when you hovered over the pictures. They happened when you hovered over buttons or other elements or chased something around the screen. So getting an idea of what can be animated, what effects you can apply to the animations, those are really important as you're thinking about designing your pages as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tour through the 21 excellent WordPress website examples. We just did a few of them, but I'm going to leave the rest of them for you to explore. And what I would like for you to do as you work through these is to look at those different things that we talked about today. What are the animations on the site? How are images used? How are headers used? How do they treat the different navigation systems? Just be curious. Figure stuff out and see what you come up with. Okay guys, see you guys in the next movie.